be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, thinking about the world as one, and I believe it could be something good is gonna come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Peace train, take this country, take me back home again. 'Cause I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, everyone glide on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, glide on the peace train. Oh, peace train, a holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, glide on the peace train. Oh, get your backs together, bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer, sooner we'll be with you. Oh, peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, glide on the peace train. Peace train, a holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, come on a peace train. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? But out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, take me back home again. Oh, peace train sounding louder, everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, glide on the peace train. A peace train, a holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, glide on the peace train. Come on, a peace train.
I'd never been in that part of the state before, okay? It was early in the day, early in the morning. It was a beautiful day. There was not a cloud in the sky. Seriously, you couldn't see a cloud anywhere. It was crystal blue. I was driving down the highway, and the highway was newly paved. It would run for miles, and then eventually in the distance, you'd see a weak curve. There were rolling hills on the left and the right. It was just such a peaceful drive. Occasionally you'd look off and you'd see cattle grazing in the field, or horses running, sometimes a flock of sheep. It was just a beautiful drive. You would drive up on communities once in a while, and all the houses in the communities on both sides were well kept. Even the factories and the industries was really well kept. And then all of a sudden, driving down the road, you'd almost go to sleep gazing at all that beautiful scenery. And then all of a sudden, driving down the road, I looked off to my left, and there was an airstrip, a parallel airstrip, run parallel with the roads, and planes were taking off. It was just a peaceful, maybe the most peaceful drive I have ever had in my life. It lasted for about an hour and 15 minutes. I'd never been there. I was on 81, and I was driving to Abington, Virginia. Oh, it's such a beautiful place. Next to Bluefield, if I could choose where to live, it may be there. Maybe right along that airstrip so I could see the airplanes take off and land. I'll never forget that experience. But it was early in the day. Got to the hospital and drove up to the hospital. It reminded me so much like an airplane terminal. They were tables outside, stone floor. They had those umbrellas everywhere. And I'm not sure, but I believe there was a water fountain. And I thought, this is such a nice day, a peaceful experience. It was wonderful. But it was early in the day. Got into the hospital, and they had long halls. And on both sides of the hall, they were sort of narrow, but on both sides of the hall, they had windows, long, tall windows on both sides. And the sun was shining through there. And as I was walking, I noticed on each side, they had leather couches. Every little bit, they would have leather couches and chairs. It was those types of couches when you sit down, you sink real low. It was just so peaceful and nice and wonderful experience. It was early in the day. Walked on down through there. Those hallways seemed to go, forever. Walked on down there, and I caught out of the corner of my eye a sign that said cafe. And I walked in the cafe, and I looked around, and I thought, oh, I've hit the lottery. Looked to the side, and they had those coffee pots. They must have had 6 or 7 of them. And I looked, and it was Starbucks coffee. Paid it. I hit the lottery. I went up and I got a cup about this size, and I went over and I pumped it in there and got the coffee and went to the cashier, and it was $2.62. I thought, well, I better drink this slow. And you know what I did? I got that cup of coffee and I went out and I sat down on that brown leather couch. And I just felt that warm sunshine coming in from both sides. And I sat there and I did this. I sipped coffee. I thought I could sit here all day. I could sit here all day. Such a peaceful experience. Have you ever been through that? Well, it was early in the day. Jesus, when he would come to a town or a village, people knew that he was coming. And they would gather like flocks of sheep, and they would surround him, and they would stand there with anticipation. I bet you could hear a pin drop. They were anticipating with excitement. Just one word from Jesus. I anticipate that. Just one word. And then when he spoke, they listened. He talked with one that had authority. It sounded like he had just came from the kingdom of God and appeared, and there he was. He spoke about forgiveness. He spoke about the love of God the Father. And everybody was enthralled. Every word. They hung on every word. And then he finished. And he forgave people. He healed people. And the other disciples, I can just imagine them staring in awe, listening to everything he said. And maybe Peter would say, it's wonderful. This is the best experience. This is the most peaceful experience I've ever had. It will be like this always. It will always be like this. The crowds will come and people would hear the sermon and they would be healed, they would be fed. It would always be like this. It would always be a wonderful experience. And Jesus looks at Peter and he says this in a manner of speaking. Jesus says, Peter, it's early in the day. Jesus told Peter, he said, Peter, I will be brought up before evil men. I will be crucified and I will die. But on the third day, I will rise again. And Peter said, no, it's not going to be like that. And Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. For you are looking at things as human beings looks at things. You don't know the big picture. You're not looking at things like God looks at things. Well, I was down there in Abington, Virginia, and I'd sat there and probably drank 3 of those coffees. You can add it up, however much that is. Probably drank 3 of those, and I got hungry. And I went to the cafe, and I looked in there, and there was nobody in there. Nobody. It must have been about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I went over to the hot bar, and there was nothing there. And I turned around, and they had a big salad bar, and I thought, boy, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat salad. I'm going to put a lot of that pepperoni on it because I need it. And I fixed the salad in one of those carry-out things. I stacked it high. And I looked around, and I couldn't find any dressing. Couldn't find any dressing. And there was nobody there. And I looked around, and all of a sudden, this fellow appeared at the cash-out thing. And I looked at him, and I said, I can't find any dressing. And he said this. He said, well, it's right in front of your face. Right in front of your face. I didn't think anything. I went and got it and put it on the salad, put a couple of those packages of crackers in there and closed the box and went up there. And he looked at me and he said, you got to take the crackers out of the box. He said that with no emotion, no feeling, just like a hollow of a man. I took the crackers out of the box, and he weighed the salad, which is new to me. I've never seen anybody weigh a salad. But anyway, he weighed the salad, and I paid him, and I went out and sat in that area where that sunlight comes in on both sides. And I sat there, and I didn't have a fork. I went back in there. And this fella has no emotion. He's hollow, no spirit. And I said, I can't find the fork. And he said, they're outside. He said, it's hateful, hateful. And I went out there, and guess what? I looked on the tables. I thought they were on the tables. I looked everywhere, and I couldn't find a fork. You believe that? I could not find a fork. And I thought, I hate to deal with this guy again. I might just eat this with my fingers. But no, I walked back in there, and I said, I can't find a fork. And he just looked at me. And I said this. I said, you don't have to be so hateful. He said, I'm not hateful. But there was nothing there. It was hollow. And he went out and he hit the wall like that. The forks were in a dispenser. I've never seen that either. But anyway, I got a fork and I sat down and I was eating that salad. It had no taste, nothing. I couldn't taste anything. And I sat there and I got madder and I got madder and I got madder. And I looked down the hall, and I seen the sign that said personnel. You know where I'm going. It said personnel. And I sat there and I thought to myself, is this guy, is he artificial, intelligent robot? Is that really a person I'm talking to? I mean, it was like talking to the wall. No, worse, walls have ears. And I thought, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to file a complaint. I finished the salad and I started walking down there, and something said, I know who said it. What are you doing? What are you doing? So I did file a complaint. Probably what I ought to have done is went back and sort of apologized to him. But I didn't. You know, being a Christian early in the day, sometimes everything is just so wonderful, so pleasant. Everything goes right. And then something happens. Something happens and we feel like just lashing out. We feel like telling people what we really think. But that's the struggles of being a Christian. You're going to have pleasant times, but you're also going to have difficult times. If you fall in those difficult times, the grace of God will forgive you and will sustain you. Sometimes I wish I was always in the part that says it's early in the day. Amen.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, thinking about the world as one, and I believe it could be something good is gonna come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train, take this country, take me back home again. 'Cause I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, everyone glide on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, glide on the peace train. Oh, peace train, a holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Oh, get your backs together, bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer, sooner we'll be with you. Oh, peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Ooh, oh, ooh, glide on the peace train. Peace train, a holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh, oh, ooh, come on a peace train. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live?